Investors, in general right now, headlines will say, or hold on, let me think about how I want to phrase this so I don't get in trouble when the clip comes out. The landscape of the investor market, from a headline perspective, will say that females are not getting a lot of money in startups, right? Yeah. It's even worse from a full diversity perspective. Yeah. In your mind, but you hear a lot from the crowd saying, we want to invest in female-backed businesses. Yeah. Do you see that the people in the crowd raising their hands saying, and I know this is a generalizing statement, but do you feel like the crowd is actually doing what they say they want, or is it all just nonsense? For example, we had a guest on, Maya Houlihan, who basically says it's all nonsense. You're seeing a lot of stuff on the headlines. You see a lot of people say they want to support, but when it comes down to it, it ain't happening. What are your kind of general thoughts on headlines saying females need more money, the crowd saying, yeah, let's invest in them? Are we getting closer? Is that happening? What's going on in that world?
It's getting closer. So I think the raising of the hands and the awareness is always going to bring, okay, we want to do this, but it's going to require change and thought process and shift, right? Female founders, minority founders, they're in different situations, they're in different dynamics, and your fund, how it's set up to serve, founders outside of those demographics might not work in the expectations. So I have to say we have probably strategically weeded out the ones that aren't going to work, right? But have found the ones that do understand it. I mean, we've raised 2, now going into 3 rounds, 100% remotely, right? The traditional is you're going to have to hit the ground and travel to 72 locations and pitch in person.
Move your business to San Francisco, yada.
Yeah. And we're like, well, guess what? We are military spouses. We still there's 6 kids between the 2 of us. Like, that's not going to work, but it doesn't mean
that's the fundamentals of the business, right? I mean, that's why you started, because it's
right.
It's
right. Yeah. It's part of our core. Yeah. So we have enjoyed that, like, kind of, breaking expectations and people who say no. I think the most validating thing is, when they come and they're like, oh, we probably should have listened a little closer, or we probably should have asked more questions. Like, there's those like, oh, we should have. We're like, all right, we're going to continue to prove you wrong. Right.
A follow-up to that is you said something, minority related businesses, minority founded businesses, female founded businesses are set up differently, or something like that. Can you go into a little deeper? Because I don't see that, right? From the surface, I mean, a founder is a founder. What's really different? Right. Where do you see in that there is some sort of differences in that? And it was directly towards it sounded like investor portfolios are set up a certain way or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's, not business, right? Business is business, numbers are numbers, growth is growth. Like, those expectations you have to prove, and no way about that. I think it's who people are as individuals. So, I mean, if you are a tight Silicon Valley investment firm and, look at the demographic of most of those people, they're 21 to maybe 28, no families, location based, that's not going to give you diversity or access to, a lot of different types of opportunities of companies who could grow and be even more successful. But if you're not willing to look outside of kind of that structural outreach of who our fund serves or who we want to be successful. So I think it's really the shift of even taking out the business. If the business is working, then you got to be able to work with who the founders are and what they're building and how they're building it, and understand that whole dynamic. Nobody gets there's no go free or, free cards, right? You still, no matter what type of founder you are, you got to check the boxes, you got to deliver, you got to bring in revenue, you got to show success. It's more of that interpersonal dynamic of expectations. Oh, you're going to fly out here every 3 weeks and be here for a week to justify how the business growth is going. We can't do that. And just because we can't do that doesn't mean that we're not growing a very successful multi-million-dollar company.
Or does it make sense to even do something like that? I mean, to me, it sounds like a load of bollocks.
One of my biggest soapboxes right now, and I haven't quite grasped on how to start, talking about it or launching it out there, is
not a milk crate, a soapbox. Okay.
Soapbox. Yes. Soapbox. That is a weird analogy, isn't it? Like, we'll have to research. Somebody needs to research that one for us. Where did that come from? It's friends and family. I think that is a huge blocker to diversity fundraising because a lot of people don't have friends and family who can contribute money, right? And we have been able to bypass that. Like, we never did a friends and family round by making money early on, right? Like, we had a money producing model. But just to tell somebody you won't talk to them or they won't be able to, pitch or apply for their next round because they never did a friends and family, to me is something that has to be changed. Friends and family giving you money really, to me, proves nothing other than you have people who can give you money.
Well, I mean, to add on to that, you shouldn't be taking money from anyone that's not an accredited investor to begin with. So it's like, how many people out there have friends and family members that are accredited investors? I mean, it's just, I mean, that is a huge barrier right there.
Yeah. But there are funds or investors who are like, well, how'd your friends and family go? How much did you raise? How much, like, positioning you to like, how much do the people around you believe in you, right? Like, they're going to judge you off of that. And some people don't have people who believe in them. Some people don't have people around them who have money, yet they are going to be your most successful business or the best founder you've ever worked with. So I think there's some work to be done there. Haven't quite.
You did say something in there that, I mean, to me is the paradigm shift is like, hey, just start selling it and see if there's anything in there, right? Where I feel like a lot of people who raise money are scared to actually get it out there to see what their baby looks like. And I feel like an investment would come quicker if they were able to show that there is a market for this that actually has dollars in hand instead of, hey, I have this idea, I put it on a piece of paper, I think you should give me some money.
Well, the thing is, like, even taking it one step further, it's almost a big contradiction in the sense of, hey, we want to invest in a diverse portfolio of companies. You can't then hold that against them if they weren't able to raise money from a friends and family round, because it's like, hey, I'm trying to get out of the streets so that I can help people out. And it's just, it just doesn't work. I mean, it's like, you're trying to leave that area. So invest in me and don't hold it against me because I don't have a bunch of rich friends that can help my business.
In 2020, Harvard Business Review says that 2.3% of VC funding, women-led startups of that. And then about 12% of decision makers at VC firms are women, and most firms don't have a single female partner, also from the Harvard Business Review. There you go.
We're getting there, but there's a lot of work to do. I think another big failure point of the friends and family expectation is with actual accredited investors I think one of the things that we had mentioned to talk about today is like the advisor network, people who can mentor you and give you advice on how to execute that money. When you're doing a friends and family, like, you're just a founder all of a sudden with maybe $200,000, maybe $100,000. And if it's your first time out the gate, like, what are you supposed to do with this money? Right. And so I've seen people who have done those rounds, like, money not used to best road to success, best growth, right? Like, there's no plan for it. It's just like, oh, we've got money. Let's buy swag now. Let's and like, yeah, look, where's the strategy?
Buy the swag and send it to Tim and I.
We have a remote swag shop now. I'll hook you guys up.
Yes. I've been wearing the same hoodie for weeks and I'm done with it. Like, I need something new.
You got an Instant Teams hoodie on the way.
Yes.
I've been directly involved within our entrepreneurial community for years. And the most common question I get is, Tim, I want to get involved, but I don't know what events I should attend. Well, StartWheel eliminates that pain point, because we consolidate all the events you should attend into a single calendar. Now you'll be in the know and see where to spend your time. Gone is the need to search multiple websites and calendars. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.